Alright, as you can see, I've had to switch it up a little bit. The bowls I had delivered were broken, and after the third time of being delivered, I just decided that I was no longer going to order these bowls. If the company can't get them to you, they can't get them to you. I'm not going to badmouth them, name them, drop them, or anything like that, but as you see, this is the SS taillight I have that's in silver. I went ahead and taped it off. I've got to do a little bit of light sanding here and there. I just taped it off basically to protect the lens. I don't want to scuff the lens up real bad. What I figure is I'll go ahead and get these corner lights here prepped, sand them and paint them to match the car with some touch-up paint. Not a perfect match, but I mean something pretty close to it. It's just a daily driver. And once I get these all primed and painted, I can take the factory taillights that are already existing in my car, pull them out, and basically I'm going to cut them up and modify them and use them as the buckets in my quad light conversion. So I'll get these things sanded, maybe cut you back on after I get some primer on them. I'm not sure the order that this is all going to get put together in, but just a little hiccup in the road. You got to be able to adapt and change and overcome all these little obstacles. Otherwise, you'll never get projects like this done. All right, see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I did a little bit of sanding, 600 grit and then 1,000 grit. And then this is the first shot of an etching primer. I just, a little something in case it fills up some gaps. I guarantee my tape job is going to be a little flawed. But from what I could see, these things had already been painted once. It looks like, to me, at least through sanding, that they were originally white. And somebody painted them silver to match their Impala. And, well, here I am, however many years later, sanding them out, and I'm going to paint them blue to match my Impala. Just shows you that these things aren't super easy to find in the Ohio River Valley area. So I'm going to let these things dry for a little bit. I might come back and do a second coat depending on how it looks. Maybe even a little more sanding. I'm not really positive. But here shortly we will be adding some, I believe it's called metallic navy blue. It's a GM factory color. And then a little bit of clear gloss over top of that before let them dry and then unmasking. So, yep. Cut you guys back on here in a little bit. Well, there's the first shot of color on them. I honestly don't know that it matches the car. It says it's the right paint coat. I don't know, it's kind of hard to judge it right now. The car is covered in filth and dirt and salt. So it might be this color underneath. Then again, it might not. It looks like I'm missing coverage here, but I actually think it's just the way the light is hitting it in the shop. It's not really warm enough to spray paint outside right now. It's about, I don't know, 40 degrees or so. So I got my little heater in here kicked on, and at least first coat, we'll see how the second coat goes. I want to let this one tack up a little bit. And either way, this is the color they're going to be, because I don't want to waste a ton of money on paint and paint and paint and paint. I've already got a little bit of money wrapped up in this mod, and I mean, I don't know. I'm just a poor hillbilly, man. You know, can't be dropping ridiculous amounts of money on something like this. That's really unnecessary. Just, I kind of liked it, and I was bored and had nothing to do. So we'll let this dry up and maybe throw a second coat on it, and I will see you guys here in just a little while. Well, I went ahead and pulled the car back around by my little workshop. Tried to wipe it down a little bit, get some of the salt and muck off it around the taillights at least. Hopefully that way we can see what type of paint match it got. As you can see, it's basically just it's a base model, 3.4 V6 Impala. I've got the SS taillights to replace these, and I actually got the spoiler also, which will be maybe another project coming up. Maybe even today or tomorrow, maybe, I don't know. It really just kind of depends on how quick everything goes together with these taillights. Basically today all I'm going to swap out is these corner lights. That's why I'm painting the SS taillights currently, because those currently are the ones that are currently in here at least, are going to be the donor buckets now for my quad light conversion. So I just figured I'd show you that. I wiped it down a little bit, and we will see how everything goes. Back to checking paint, I guess. Okay, so as you see, it's two coats of that base coat. Navy blue metallic. It's a GM color, which is the color of the car. It looks a lot darker now that it dried than it did earlier. I think it just looks bright due to contrast of the black behind it and the red tail light. As you can see, though, like right in this area right here, and even, definitely around this corner light here, you can see a lot of silver peeking through. And at first I thought that was failure on my part for my tape job. I'm not a professional at this. I just, I'm a hillbilly, and I like doing weird stuff, and this is one of those little projects I chose to take on. But fortunately, after I started looking at it, it's not my lack of skills in taping, it's the previous person who had sprayed these silver. Apparently, the more I look at it up close, basically this is just remnants of silver paint that was on the actual red portions of the taillight. They weren't real noticeable when the car was, or these taillights were silver, but now that the taillights are blue, it stands out pretty obviously. So I'm gonna, I kind of debate on how I wanted to try to go around this, and I don't know, this might be the complete wrong way to do it, it might be the right way to do it, but I'm going to do this right here. Got a nice little paintbrush, which my camera will not focus. There it goes. Well, maybe not. But anyway, I'm going to do a little touch-up paint around those pieces. And once I get them all touched up, I'm going to shoot a little bit of clear over them. And I will be ready to install them. Or at least test to make sure all the bulbs work. And then install them. So I will cut you guys back on once they're all touched up. Thanks. Well, there they are. I went around them and touched them up a little bit with a brush here and there, which, again, that might be the wrong way to do it. I'm positive it is. But, I don't know. It's the best I could do right now. I'm content with it. It's not perfect. But, like I said, I mean, this is a daily driver. It's not going on some kind of show car. Quite honestly, a 2000, 2005 Impalas. I got it because it's a really good deal. They're not super popular for anything fancy. I don't know, it's just a good, humble, drive around, everyday car. I think this will look perfectly fine on it. I want to shoot them with a little bit of clear. And while that dries, I'm going to go out and disassemble the actual taillights that are currently installed in my car. And once these are all swapped, that'll allow me to take the new ones and go ahead and cut back over to that disaster. The disaster is in the garage, but that'll allow me to get back to work on that quad light conversion, and we'll see how that ends up. So, all right, let's cut you guys back on here in a few minutes. Okay, guys, I came on out to the car while that clear coat dries to go ahead and start disassembling the taillights on my car. It'll probably be a couple hours before that clear coat's fully dried and to a point where I feel comfortable handling it, but I figured I would just go ahead and start here and eat up some time. As you can see, they're not super hard to get. There's 4 of these per taillight per corner. Basically, it's just a plastic toggle, threads onto a stud. Pardon the disastrous garage or trunk also, but you can see the studs. There's 2 of them down low right here on by the opening of the trunk. There's one that you can get to through the carpet, and one you got to get to behind the carpet. They're not super hard. Mine were a little tight, but I'm going to assume that's because they were, in this car for the last 20 years. I'm sure they don't get taken out very often. I don't know that they will pop right out or not with one hand. It's trying to, but yeah, I might need 2 hands to do it. So I'll pop them both out and I'll show you guys what it looks like here in just a minute. Okay, as you see, I got them both popped loose. They were not very pleasant to pull out. Mainly what I'm thinking, this factory seal here is like a slime. I don't know, man. had some kind of maybe RTV or something in it from the factory, and it seals against this and then presses in against the taillight as it sucks down. And man, that stuff was pretty legit sealant. Did not want to come off. It actually stretched pretty far on both sides, and as you see, I don't know that that would ever be reusable. I mean, you just tuck it down, push it back in there, and hope it seals. But mine new SS lights have them anyway. These will be donors. So all left to do is unplug that little harness there and take these inside, and these here will become my donor buckets for my quad light. So I will cut you guys back on here in a few minutes when I put the SS lights in. I mean, a few minutes for you guys, or a couple seconds for that matter, but probably about maybe 2 hours for me. So I'll see you guys then. Well, as you can see, I got the corner lights in. They are in no way, shape, or form the right blue, even though the can had the right coat on it. That sure does not appear to match. Not a whole lot I can really do about it. Guess I could take them off and tape them and repaint them or whatever the case may be, but really not looking to go through all that. So I think I'm just going to leave them be for the time being. I don't know, I might tape them back off, tape them again sometime down the road, buy some legit paint, not some body match touch up. From the right angles, it doesn't look bad in person. I'm not sure what it looks like via camera, but from like right here, it's pretty obviously not the same color blue, even though that is the color code it offered. So yeah, guess that will be something for down the road to kind of tweak with. Yeah, I don't know, not super happy with the color, but whatever, that's part of the process. So it's gonna happen, things like this do occur. So I don't know, back to the quad lights.